So I personally like to give myself an extra 5-10 minutes in the morning to get ready, just so I can keep an eye out on my plants, because you know, like, as I'm getting dressed, I'm in and out of checking plants. It's really just a whole situation. Hi, my salty pecans, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and I feel like I'm exposing so much of my background. If I am, I feel like I'm definitely going to try to like crop at least this much out. But yes, on today's video I am doing something that I feel like, why the heck not, right? Why the heck not? It is me doing a daily plant care sort of routine. So I consider myself a lazy plant parent, and I need to stop that. I need to stop that. I can't be a lazy plant parent, mainly because of the amount of plants that I own. I have to be able to upkeep and manage the care and maintenance on these plants, of course, to keep them alive, because they are my investments. So I don't just like do one, watering per week. Sometimes, especially with the change of seasons, I do multiple waterings per week, because the plants, they just need it. If I don't water it, then I know the outcome, and the outcome would definitely be yellowing of leaves, drying of roots, dying of like flowers and buds, just a downfall on the plant's health. So on today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all some of my daily plant care routines. This is what I do per day. Right now it's the evening, I am home from work, and I just wanted to do this quick intro for you all. So also, I have a mic situation with me because it is like 95 degrees today in New York, and tomorrow is going to be 97, and I cannot film with a light or operate in this heat without some sort of cooling aspect, and I have my fan on. So I'm doing my best to hopefully not sound as humming and loud and windy with the fan on in the background, but if it is, I apologize. I'm doing my best with a phone in my chest and a dead cat. So if you're interested in this basically daily plant care routine, then keep on watching. Hi, my salty pecans, good morning. Sorry for the backlitness, but of course it's morning, and I'm going to be checking on my plants. I'm going to see how they're doing before I head off to work, because I have to do that. If I don't, then who knows what will transpire within the next 8-9 hours that I won't be home. Coming home after work and seeing what my plants are doing and how are they feeling right now, during especially this heat wave. So again, it's really horrible light. Maybe I'll talk to you like this. So come with me, let's check my plants. I like to do just a quick glance over at my plants and see, all right, does anyone need watering before I head to work? Do I feel like randomly, ripping a yellow leaf off just for the aesthetic wise? Does anybody need to be like shifted, adjusted? I just check all of that before I go home, because of course it's a heat wave. We are in the summertime, and my plants, our plants, are not used to this heat. We as humans aren't used to this heat, so they're going to react the same way we are going to react. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on my plants. And as I'm talking to you all, I'm noticing right here, you see that yellow in the back, right? That yellow stem. So I have to definitely check out my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma tissue culture, because that's that plant up there. And I also have to check the plants on this side to make sure everyone is chilling, they're doing good. So I have my watering can, and that's all I really do in the mornings is just water and mention, like I said, what I did. but I don't think I have time this morning to really look into the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, so I'll do that maybe later or maybe tomorrow. But now I just am going to water my plants. Okay, salty peeps, I am in front of my window. We are of course backlit, but this is the real lighting that we're getting now. I am going to check my mini Hoya trellis, what is this called, my mini Hoya plants, the cage. This, for example, is one plant that gets really dry really fast because mainly these are tiny Hoyas. They're in smaller pots, they dry faster, and they're in front of the window, so these always get watered. I water these maybe once or twice, sorry, I water this every other day. And I'm noticing now that it is warmer out, I am going to need to water them maybe about every day because of the heat wave that we're in. These plants, they use up so much water and they get a little pruny too. So yeah, I'm just gonna water. This is another plant, for example, my Hoya serpens. I lost a peduncle during this heat, but I'm not going to trip because I had 2 other peduncles on this plant and they are doing really good. I lost a couple strands, but with the loss of those strands, I'm noticing new strands have popped up. So I personally like to give myself an extra 5-10 minutes in the morning to get ready, just so I can keep an eye out on my plants, because, you know, like as I'm getting dressed, I'm in and out of checking plants. It's really just a whole situation. To avoid an annoying amount of trips back and forth to the sink, I just keep water in this gallon container. You can keep water in a bucket also, which is what I've done too. And just keep watering. Everybody needs water. Everybody needs water. The pots are really light. They're not heavy at all. And make sure you don't miss anybody in the back, because that always happens. You miss somebody in the back, and it's that somebody that did not need to be missed. Alright, salty pecans, so I am now gonna go ahead and get ready for work. I don't have any more time to dedicate to my plants anymore. Now I have to go get money so I can be able to afford this housing for these plants. So what I'm gonna do next is show you all what it's like in the evening when I come back home, and let's see what else I do to these plants in regards to care. Alright, so we are now in the evening, like I mentioned in the intro, and I decided let me go ahead and check out my plants now, see what is going on. You've seen earlier I watered some of them, and now I'm checking the others to see if there's any, you know, yellowing of leaves that I might want to like pick off, or if there are any plants that look a little drier than I seen this morning, you know, in the haste, in the rush to get to work. And you know, just upkeep with my plants, because again, like I mentioned, we are now in the summer months, the summer season, and my plants dry out more often than they usually would in the cooler months, okay, the colder months. So I'm already looking now, and I can see my compacta carnosa is looking a little thirsty. This baby's looking a little dry. It definitely needs to be watered, and I can see the fern also in that plant needs to be watered. Ferns, we know, are basically just like really fussy. They like to be humid and moist, and they don't like to dry out, and basically that's how everyone kills them. But I only own one fern, and that fern has been with me since I've had that compacta. It's pretty chill. It doesn't fuss. It just lets me know it needs to be watered, and I know when to water it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just check out these plants up here. I know they need to be watered, and yeah. So I'm feeling this compacta. It doesn't feel too light, and the topsoil is not too dry, so I don't think I'm gonna water this plant today. But this is why I check my plants, because I'm going to have to check my other compacta to see if that one probably needs to be watered. So let's go ahead and see. Ooh. So as expected, this compacta definitely feels much lighter than the other compacta did. This one I know needs to be watered. But why does this compacta need to be watered while the other compacta, in my opinion, does not to be watered? Well, two things. This compacta is solely by itself in a pot with other compactas. It is not, you know, sharing nutritional requirements with another plant. So this compacta, on the other hand, is sharing nutritional requirements with another plant, so it dries out faster, one, okay, and that's basically the main thing. It dries out faster. It's not getting a different sort of sunlight because they both hang in the same spot. But this one, the only different thing, the only variant, is that it is sharing a pot with a fern, and like I mentioned, ferns use up a lot of water, so this pot dries out faster. You can also notice too that this plant dries out faster because it looks a little bit just like, I would say, weaker than this pot. You see how green and very vibrant this pot is, while this one looks a little bit more sun, you know, sun bleached. And I also attest all of that to the fact that this plant is also drying out faster. So the roots are getting drier faster. It's, you know, it's trying to distribute its needs in different ways in order to accommodate having the, you know, the macronutrient depletion, you know, faster than having to share the plant with another pot, or not having to. So yeah, I'm going to have to water this plant now. For the sake of this video, I am going to be watering this plant with the gallon water, but on the regular I do not water this plant, or basically a lot of my hanging Hoyas I don't water from the gallon, and that is because I like to just water those at the sink. I prefer, if I can, to rinse off my plants, you know, help the aerial roots, give the aerial roots some juice. Yeah, I try to emulate nature as much as I can, and sometimes, you know, that is just one way I can try to emulate nature, is by like giving it a full, you know, shower, a full watering, not just like moistening the roots. So yep, this one is good to go. I can go ahead and hang it back up, but I'm not gonna go hang it up because I'm gonna check out the other plants up there. So my thing stopped recording. I'm gonna have to turn the fan off. The fan had to go off. I don't know what's happening, but my phone is acting weird and it's not recording my voice. So anyways, I'm gonna pan you all up to just show you this other plant. And this is my regular, what is this one? So this is my tissue culture Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I like to just water this one here because this plant gets really dry and it's so close to the window. It's basically 100% sunlight. Basically it's outdoors, so I know that one is mad thirsty. This here is fine. This is my Bertonoi, my Wayettii. Definitely can get some water. And extra dripping. Drips into the other plant. Boom. Waters the other plant for me without me even having to. So I think that is all for this window. Let's pan over here. So I know right here, like I was showing you, this area, I'm seeing some yellowing in my plant, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick those off now. This is from my variegated, I forgot what it's called, my variegated syngonium. And I go ahead and put this back. It lives up here. This also lives up here. Booyah. Remembers Ron from Kim Possible. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pan you all to this window. Alright, my salty pecans, we are now at this window here, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, what do I see like visually that is, you know, that might need a little bit of help? And I see my money tree, my beautiful Pachera aquatica right here. Beautiful plant, love it so much. But I think it needs to be rotated. It is on this window, and this window gets really hot. This heat basically fries the plant, and I know that because I'm seeing some bleaching on this plant too. So I'm gonna turn it within the saucer, you know, within the pot that it's in. Alright, I had to rotate the plant because if you can see from here, there's bleaching on the leaves, and I don't want these fresh leaves to be baked and cooked. It was fine in the winter months, you know, it's cold against the windows, but they're fine. But now this plant doesn't want that anymore, and I'm not gonna give it that anymore. But I'm gonna zoom you all into how cute my string of hearts is, my regular old green string of hearts. So freaking cute. Like, it's doing these little aerial rhizomes, and those aerial rhizomes are just so thick and so luscious, and you can literally see the new, you know, stem, the new vines just growing from the aerial rhizomes, and they're so large. I seem to have misplaced my shears, but the next thing I want to do is just go ahead and just cut off the bleached parts, because they're not doing anything for the plant, and visually it's kind of just an eyesore. So I'm just gonna cut that here. It's alright. Yeah, just cut it in like a little V to still keep it with that little pointy shape. The reality of New York, sirens are always going off. Other than that, oh, you see how tall this plant is? So tall! See, there's some bleaching up here too. This entire leaf can go. This fucking ice cream truck is gonna be here this whole time. Give your fiddle leaf fig tree a shake. I don't know if this really is effective, but they say you shake your fiddle leaf tree fig, you shake your fiddle leaf fig tree, and you do it to try to emulate like nature and the wind, and it helps, you know, thicken the base and the roots. So I think that's all I want to do. In the morning I already watered my Hoyas, I watered my compactas, my rotundiflora, any other Hoyas over there that looked like they needed to be watered, I did that. I filled up the containers with water, filled whatever needed to be refilled up already. So I think that is all I want to do today in regards to my plant care. It helps to, for me, I realized, to upkeep weekly, you know, doing something a little bit at a time per plant kind of, or per group of plants that I know require the same sort of needs. I do it a little bit at a time, and that helps me not feel overwhelmed, because it is overwhelming having to water over 100 plants, you know, in one day, in one sitting. It's a lot in one go. Like, it's intense to do that. But if you know, you water plants every now and then that's it. That's all right. You know, you do what you can with the routine that you're able to make for yourself. So this, I find, has been working for me for the hotter months. And the reason also is because I noticed last year I lost Hoyas, my very favorite linearis, by the lack of upkeep with their watering. I lost 2 huge pots of them, and I decided I'm not going to lose any more Hoyas that I love, because I realize Hoyas don't really like to be as dry as we say, or as, not we, but as the past recommendations have been given by people who had Hoyas for a couple of months, versus having them for like over a year, years, and knowing, okay, well, I know for sure linearis likes to be moist, I know for sure polyneura likes to be moist, serpens, you know what I mean, but then I know that maybe a compactor doesn't mind drying out a little bit, you know. So with that being said, my salty pecans, thank you so much for joining me today on this little bit of like home maintenance plant care, my little daily plant care upkeep routine. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little cookie family, because we're pretty awesome here. Become a salty pecan, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get growing. Bye.